A capital murder trial set to begin soon. How surveillance video played a part in cracking the case.
And a man taking it upon himself to track down carjackers, how his pursuit for justice ended in gunfire.
In cooler conditions today, we had a few showers this morning. Chance for a little bit of rain later today. We'll talk about the rest of the forecast and a cool day tomorrow, too, coming up.
Live from KSAT12, the news at noon starts right now.
A man's been left hurting in more ways than one after a couple of encounters with carjackers.
San Antonio police say those criminals not only took his vehicles, they also then later shot him. As Katrina Weber reports, police say the shooting happened after he was able to track down the suspects.
It's clear from the commotion that this is a tough time at the Easy Shop. San Antonio police were called to this convenience store in West Military near Marbach, originally for a stolen car. But they say things quickly turned violent just before midnight.
I was like, whoa, what happened here? And then I was like, my friend, he was with me. We was getting something to eat, and it was like somebody had to get shot.
Kevin Jackson's hunch was right. What he saw here was the investigation into the shooting of a 39-year-old man. Police say that victim told them carjackers had taken his car from him earlier outside his home. Someone later gave him a heads up that it was outside the store. Then police say he and a relative showed up before the criminals had a chance to leave. After seeing his car was parked here, police say the victim went inside the store to confront the carjackers, telling them officers were on the way. And police say that is when one of those carjackers shot him.
That takes heart. To go against a gun, that takes a lot of heart.
Luckily, it didn't take his life. Police say the victim was wounded in his arm, then taken to a hospital for treatment.
I hope the guy's all right. You know, we all God's children.
The carjackers took off, running rather than driving off in the stolen car. Police searched the area for them, but they got away. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Well, a man accused of robbing and killing a man back in 2019 is in court today. Jimmy Tran's capital murder trial set to begin in just a few hours. According to the arrest affidavit, Tran, along with a co-defendant in the case, Sebastian Espinar, robbed and shot and killed Andres Salinas when he was selling them drugs. A witness and surveillance video key in Tran and Espinar getting arrested. Espinar has since taken a plea deal in the case, but has yet to be sentenced. Opening statements in the capital murder trial expected to begin this afternoon as pretrial motions happen this morning. If found guilty, Tran will automatically be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Make sure to stay with us as court reporter Eric Hernandez is going to have much more on those opening statements later this afternoon.
Police have a lot of questions for 4 people after someone shot and killed a man on the west side. San Antonio police say it happened last night just before 9 o'clock at an apartment complex in the 1100 block of Lombrado Street near Service Street in North Zarzamora. SAPD says a fight led to a man getting shot once in the chest. He died at the scene. 2 men and 2 women were taken into custody there. Both women seen holding children as they were surrendering to authorities.
Right now, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is still looking for a missing woman. So take a look. 50-year-old Cindy Stevens, last seen January 18th, hasn't been seen since. She was last spotted on Rainbow Basin Street in Converse on the city's northeast side. We know she's about 5'5", blue eyes, brown hair. We're told she does have a medical condition. If you have any idea where she could be, you're asked to call BCSO.
San Antonio firefighters trying to find out what caused a fire inside a converted garage. It happened on the 500 block of Hot Wells Boulevard about 10 o'clock last night. Firefighters say when they got there, they found the garage that was converted into 2 apartments on fire. They were able to put out the fire quickly. Officials say that 1 person lived in each apartment. No one was hurt, but the estimated damage about $30,000, and fire investigators are on the scene trying to figure out that cause.
New this noon, 2 teenage boys arrested after allegedly threatening to harm a teacher at Briscoe Middle School. All of this according to Bexar County Sheriff's Office. So BCSO tells us deputies were dispatched to the school yesterday morning. Deputies say the boys, both 13 years old, made the threats via text message. They were then arrested for making terroristic threats. Deputies also heard a second report about a student taking a weapon to campus. No weapon was found in either incident. In a Facebook post, Briscoe Middle School principal Christina Rather said the students and staff all safe.
The public has spoken, but the results are the same. Harlandale ISD will close 4 elementary schools with a passing vote of 4-3. That's from the school board, who listened to public comments for over an hour this week. They decided to repurpose the schools of Columbia Heights, Morrill, Rayburn, and Carroll Bell. Most of the parents who spoke were upset about the decision, but board member Ricardo Moreno says the decision was made to better provide the necessary resources and funds for the schools that remain open.
The potential merging of resources will allow us to invest in people and programs that can enhance the opportunities that we can provide for our students. In turn, that investment in our students will trickle down where they can excel and eventually contribute.
It's unclear, though, how the board plans to repurpose those schools. We do know that Harlandale isn't the only district talking about school closures. Last week, South San Antonio voted to close 3 of theirs.
Well, Fort Hood having a new name. It's being renamed this May after years of negative headlines plagued the U.S. Army post. Specifically, on May 9th, the name will change to Fort Cavazos. It's all in honor of Texas-born hero General Richard Edward Cavazos. He served in the Korean and Vietnam Wars. A press release says the post is one of 9 Army installations that will be renamed according to the Naming Commission's recommendations that honor the old Confederate States of America. Now, General Cavazos, the first Hispanic to reach Brigadier General in 1976, he is buried at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery.
The San Antonio man who inspired the movie Hotel Rwanda is on his way back to his family here. Paul Rusesabagina disappeared in 2020 during a visit to Dubai and then appeared days later in Rwanda wearing handcuffs. He was later convicted on terrorism charges and sentenced to 25 years in prison. His reasoning for the arrest was criticism of President Paul Kagame's human rights violations. Prior to that latest chapter, though, back in 1994, he had saved hundreds, maybe 1,000 countrymen in Rwanda's genocide. He's lived here in San Antonio and still very much a human rights activist. Plans to return here now that he's been released from prison.
We're learning new details about that deadly school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. A small Christian school now mourning the deaths of 3 9-year-old students and 3 staff members. ABC's Lindsay Watts on the ground there with what we're learning about those innocent victims and the shooter.
Police releasing surveillance video showing the moment the shooter opened fire, shattering the locked door and glass of Covenant Christian School in Nashville, Tennessee.
All units, be advised, we're under a mass casualty alert.
Authorities say it was a targeted, pre-planned attack. Shooter 28-year-old Audrey Hale even had maps of the school. The assailant, who was born female but identified as transgender, was also heavily armed with 2 assault-style rifles and a handgun. The shooting forcing the evacuation of the K-6 school. Terror evident as they were bused to a nearby church. Police say Hale killed 3 9-year-old students. Evelyn Dickhouse, William Kinney, and Haley Scruggs, the daughter of the church's pastor. 3 school staff were also killed. 61-year-old substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, 61-year-old custodian Mike Hill, who was said to view coworkers and students as his family, and the head of the school, 60-year-old Catherine Kuntz, described as a remarkable woman with a bright spirit.
Strong and steady and hilarious. She had this amazing sense of humor. I can't imagine a better head of a school.
Police say when a tactical team of 5 officers arrived, Hale began firing at them from a second-floor window, hitting their cruisers.
There's multiple victims down inside the school. Shooter is down now as well.
14 minutes after the first 911 call, these 2 officers, Rex Engelbert and Michael Colazzo, confronting and killing the shooter.
They trained for that, and this moment happened, and they didn't hesitate at all.
Right now, the motive for this attack remains under investigation. Police say when they searched the shooter's car, they found some writings and then some additional weapons, shotguns, when they searched Hale's home. Authorities say Hale has no prior criminal record. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Nashville.
A new play area in Hemisphere Park sure to bring some smiles to children. We're going to take a look at what the new park is offering.
And New parks, same losses. We are talking about an old Spurs player, how he is finding his groove with a new team. We're going to hear from Coach Pop as well.
How would he like to be called old?
It's old in the NBA. I'm super old in regards to NBA lifetime.
Oh, okay. Fiesta Fun already taking place in San Antonio today. Military heroes honored by the Texas Cavaliers. They also revealed just how much money they are going to present to local charities this year. We have details after the break. A group of military heroes getting a chance to experience the Texas Cavaliers River Parade for free this Fiesta season. Just this morning, Whataburger donated more than $31,000. That money is going to be used to provide 1,500 River Parade tickets and meals to local wounded warriors, active duty military, and their families. The Texas Cavaliers say that the River Parade generates a lot of money for a lot of local causes.
We take all those proceeds and we give them to the foundation. Then we take the foundation's funds and give them away to 70 different children's charities around Bexar County. This year we'll give away approximately $2 million.
The River Parade taking place on Monday, April 24th, and you can buy tickets on the Texas Cavaliers website.
All right, time to take a live look out at the Alamo City. It's a little chilly out there. Maybe I've just been spoiled the last few days, but 65 degrees.
Wow.
Cold.
What happened here?
Cool. Cold front came through, and not only did we get the cooler weather, but the winds. The winds have been so terribly strong. We had gusts close to 45 miles per hour a little bit earlier this morning. Still windy out there. The aquifer is down 0.5 of a foot to 635.2, and your pollen count still Oak leading the way. It's at 6,970. We've also got a few showers on the radar. We could see a few more later today. We'll take a look at the radar and get you updated on the full week's forecast coming up.
A new toddler play area in the Yanaguana Garden at Hemisphere opening up this morning with different educational panels and climbable structures. Tiffany Huertas has a look at how the area is going to give families a new, fun, and safe space for kids to play.
There's not a lot of areas that are inclusive for little ones and a safe spot for them to play, so we're excited that there's somewhere safe for him to run around. The ground is safe, it's gated.
Music and smiles filled Yanaguana Garden at Hemisphere this morning. Families gathered for the opening of a new toddler play area.
We asked the community what they wanted to see at Hemisphere at Yanaguana Garden, and a toddler play area was something that they were really interested in.
It's a place where kids can play, learn, and explore. The enclosed area is designed for kids ages 2 to 5 years old. From a turtle to a caterpillar, there are fun play elements that kids can climb.
Kids will not only be able to play inside, but out here they can practice their numbers in English and Spanish and learn sign language.
Hemisphere has welcomed over 4 million people to Yanaguana Garden since opening in 2015.
Each year we have an increase, more people know about us, and so we're really excited to grow into Civic Park this fall.
Hemisphere officials say this space came to life thanks to community donors, an anonymous donor, and the Jeannie Rabke Wyatt Family Foundation.
There's plenty of scientific studies that show that kids getting outside and moving and getting their brains working helps development, and so we're excited to be able to provide all of that here at Hemisphere.
The play area opening up just in time for the spring and summer months. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT12 News.
All right, I don't know if it's just the kids in the video, but if I were outside today, I might need like a little sweater.
Yeah, I had to grab a jacket this morning.
It was chilly. You know, it's not that cold, but it's just the fact that we've been so warm and all of a sudden we're switching back to cooler weather.
Exactly.
In mid-60s right now, and those gusty winds, those do make a difference too. We're still seeing some strong winds at this hour, gusting to 33. Now, not as strong as they were earlier, where we had gusts 40 to even 45 in some cases, but New Braunfels still reporting gusts to 46 there. So these winds are strong out of the north. That's behind that cold front that did generate some showers and even a few thunderstorms earlier this morning as well. So when will these winds die down? You'll have to give it until probably dinner time. Even then, the winds will still be a little bit breezy, but nothing like what we're seeing now, where we've had those really strong gusts. So the winds will eventually calm. Well, they won't go completely calm, but they'll relax some. Here's the 24-hour temperature change. And this front has made a difference with the temperatures too, especially as you get down to Creosote Springs, Cotulla, Del Rio. But even here in San Antonio, temperatures are down from where they were 24 hours ago. So that's one of the other big changes there. 65 right now. Still reporting cloudy skies at the airport, although the sun's trying to shine through. Dew point is at 35, so the air is significantly drier. And we've got that north-northeasterly wind sustained at 20 miles per hour. Here's a look at the satellite picture along with the radar on there, and you can see some of the showers, very light showers that are out there across the hill country, back down towards Del Rio and Creosote Springs, and another light shower there south of Pleasanton and Kennedy. Temperatures in the mid-60s, as I said. You get into the 50s in the hill country, but it's even cool down towards Cotulla and Creosote Springs where that front has cleared you. And we've got 64 in Helota, 65 at the airport, 65 at Stinson. And notice the clouds thinning just a little bit, so the sun, yes, is trying to pop out. That may help us get up to near 70 today, but it's still not going to be overly warm. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. 68 at 2 o'clock, 69 at 3 p.m., and then we start to add in some rain chances. Yes, they do come back into play. We'll have about a 30% chance of rain as we get into the 6, 7, 8 o'clock hour. With some light showers, temperatures will fall back down into the 60s, and we'll keep that rain chance going through about midnight before we bring the rain chances back down a little bit. But it'll be cool again tomorrow morning. We'll start off in the 50s as that cooler air is pushing in from the north and east behind that front, which has now made it all the way down to the valley. And they're seeing some showers and even a few thunderstorms down there. And it's along the front where there could be a couple strong storms this afternoon. Not here, but well to our south, there around Brownsville and McAllen. So our forecast shows just some cloudy skies this afternoon, although I think we could see a shower here or there. It's not until 5, 6 o'clock that the computer models, which by the way haven't been great today with this, but shows some showers and storms redeveloping. This is around 7 p.m., 30% chance, as we said. And then we'll see some of that activity into tonight before things kind of fall off a little bit. I think we could see a shower or two tomorrow, but it's not going to be much. Rain chances are generally pretty low. So here's the extended forecast. We'll go 65 tomorrow, 78 Thursday, 87 on Friday. So it does warm up quite significantly before a front comes through and cools us back down a little bit over the weekend. That front tries to stall out some too, so we'll keep rain chances going Saturday into Sunday. That's a change in the forecast. So no, there is a chance of some rain even through Sunday, guys.
Chilly week almost, for a couple days at least. Thanks.
Thank you, Justin. You know who is not so chilly? Coach Pop. Even after 4 straight losses on the road, we're going to hear from him in just a little bit. And of course, we hear from him in the aftermath of that 4th straight loss. He was talking good about this guy, former Spur Derek White, and what he means to his new squad. We're going to check in just a bit. Welcome back, and of course, go Spurs go. So before the Spurs, a loss to the Celtics, head coach Greg Popovich held his normal pregame presser. He was asked about a number of topics, including this guy, former point guard Derek White. The Spurs drafted him in the first round back in 2017, trading him to Boston in February of 22. Pop said Derek is a very special case and that over time he figured out that he belongs. Pop got nothing but love for D. White.
In development, he was just outstanding. He spent a lot of time before and after practices and, summer leagues and learning how to play. He had the size, you could see, he had the size at that position to do it. And the immediate thing that you could see was that he had an instinctive nose for the game. He understood how to play. Most NBA players don't know how to play. He did.
Pop and the Spurs hosting the Jazz Wednesday night tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Spurs' last home game of the season here at the AT&T Center. Of course, we have Spurs highlights, we have the Brahmas, and we have the latest on Zeke, what he means for the Cowboys, all right now. Just head to KSAT.com. A lot of news to talk about through the rest of the hour. A city in Illinois allowing black residents to not only apply for reparations, but they now have a cash option. Why activists fought to get the program approved.
Communities in the South are still picking up the pieces after tornadoes ripped through their homes. How some of the families impacted by the storms are working to rebuild.
And don't forget to stick around. Right after the noon, we have SA Live. We're going to be at Market Square for a fun-filled day. What the team is up to, that's in the next half hour.
We've got some new images showing just how deadly those tornadoes were that destroyed parts of Mississippi. ABC's Morgan Norwood reporting FEMA officials are now on the ground there as members of the small rural community come together.
Days after the deadly and devastating tornadoes ripped through their neighborhood, families still sifting through what's left of their shredded homes, searching for anything they can salvage as they begin the painful and long road to rebuilding their lives. At least 7 tornadoes touching down in Mississippi over the weekend, one of the poorest states in the country.
Donations don't rebuild all this.
The town of Rolling Fork battered and bulldozed by a deadly EF4 tornado, packing 170-mile-per-hour winds, leaving the town in ruins.
And this is a critical step in the recovery and relief process, especially for the few homes and businesses that are still standing and without power. We've got dozens of linemen from all over the state scrambling to get the lights back on.
As the cleanup continues, we're learning more about the victims. The death toll now revised down to 21 lives lost in Mississippi. Neighbors of husband and wife Lonnie Pierce and Melissa Brown mourning the loss of their dear friends next door.
He was a good man. And his wife was good.
She was always at my house. I had a heart attack about a year and a half ago, and she was right there.
Sonia Barnes, one of the few residents whose home is still standing, telling me she's grateful for that, but is heartbroken by the loss of her community.
It done taken a lot of family, business. We have a lot of people that live here, may not even have insurance, and they don't have places to go.
And 35% of the residents here in Sharkey County are at or below the poverty line, which of course makes recovery even more difficult. But look, FEMA is here. They're promising help every step of the way, including for those without insurance. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Take a look outside with live cam. If you have not ventured out, keep in mind it may look like yesterday, but it's a lot colder.
Doesn't feel like it. Yeah, that front blew through, and boy did it blow through, because we got the really gusty winds along with it. The cooler air feels a little less spring-like out there with the temperatures holding in the mid-60s, and we've got the cloud cover too, although the clouds trying to thin out a little bit, and we're seeing a break as far as the rain goes. Some rain chances will kick back in a little bit later this afternoon. Now, there is some activity on radar, very, very light out near Lakey. We've noticed a few showers north of Crystal City, and another little patch of very, very light rain south of Kennedy. This stuff moving into Bandera County. You may see a few sprinkles, some light showers out of it there right around the city of Bandera and Medina. But other than that, there's not a whole lot to talk about rain-wise. Really, the wind gusts are the big story at this hour. Still gusting to 33 in San Antonio, and there's the big gust there, gusting to 46 in New Braunfels. These winds are strong out of the north. We've got gusts to 35 at Port SA. It's going to be blustery. It's going to be windy for several more hours. It's going to take until this evening for these winds to really die down. Outside, we've got mostly cloudy skies at 65. Dew point is at 35. And our KSAT 12-hour forecast, we'll take it up to about 70 later today. It's still staying windy. And then we'll add some rain showers back into the forecast as we head into this evening and tonight. Not big chances, but some chances nonetheless. And we've got a few more chances on the way in the extended forecast, too. We'll take another glance at that 7-day coming up here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Justin. A history-making program awarding reparations to qualified black residents in a city in Illinois. At first, the program was only for mortgage assistance and renovations. That's now changed to include a cash payment option. So just yesterday, the Evanston City Council added a cash option to the program with little fanfare. The Act passed the reparations resolution back in 2019. That was a long time ago. Activists pushed for the resolution in order to address discriminatory housing policies where banks in the city, they used to refuse to give mortgage loans to black families until 1969.
There were specific anti-black zoning laws and housing practices that are responsible for our racial segregation, not only our physical segregation, but our wealth gaps and homeownership gaps.
So far, the city says it's only spent about $326,000 of the $10 million promised. Cities and other states also looking into similar programs. In San Francisco, a reparations committee, they're seeking payments proposed of $5 million for every eligible black resident.
We now know at least 40 people have died in a fire inside an immigration detention center in northern Mexico, right near the U.S. border. That fire started last night after mattresses were set on fire on purpose at Mexico's Institute of Migration. That's in Ciudad Juarez. The center is in an area across the border from El Paso. Officials said that 68 men from Central and South America had been housed inside that facility at the time of the fire. The unrest in Israel continuing overnight, despite an effort to come to a better compromise on a controversial overhaul there of the justice system. ABC's James Longman explains the prime minister now pausing his plan, which critics have called a power grab.
Overnight protests in Israel raging on after Prime Minister Netanyahu announced a pause on his controversial plans to overhaul the country's courts. In Tel Aviv, demonstrators seen clashing with police.
You can see that they've taken water cannon all the way down the street. It's kind of a game of cat and mouse between protesters and the police.
Right-wing leaders called on their own supporters to come out onto the street. They clashed with pro-democracy activists and the police, fueling the violence. In a national address, Netanyahu said there must not be a civil war, but his tone was defiant, blaming Israeli media for launching a propaganda campaign against him. Netanyahu is under investigation for corruption and abuse of power. The nation's attorney general says the prime minister's efforts to overhaul the judiciary while he's under indictment would violate a conflict of interest law. Many Israelis see the change as a threat to their country's founding principles.
We're here to save our democracy. I'm worried because I'm not sure that we will be able to mend what is broken now.
Netanyahu only announced the pause after making a deal with his right-wing allies, giving his far-right security minister Ben Gvir his own National Guard. That's a move some worry may only deepen divides here.
The deal is to postpone a month until the Knesset is back from recess. And the White House, which has held off on its invitation to Prime Minister Netanyahu, has now invited him for talks with President Biden. James Longman, ABC News in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Well, other protests internationally, the French government warning of high risk as protests by French unions enter their 10th day. They continue to reject a reform law which actually raises the pension age from 62 years old to 64 years old in France. Authorities say around 13,000 police officers deployed around the country today amid these ongoing protests. They also expect other means of public transportation, including air travel, to all be disrupted.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is urging President Joe Biden to hold more robust negotiations over raising the debt limit. The California Republicans' letter sent to the president the first major action on the critical issue in weeks. The U.S. could see an economic crisis if Congress does not pass a bill soon that Biden is willing to sign. The White House says it's still waiting on Republicans to present a counterproposal to President Biden's initial budget request.
And speaking of budgets, as more folks watch their money carefully amidst inflation, some are looking for new ways to budget. One woman able to pay down several $1,000s worth of debt. Now she's sharing her secrets with everyone else.
New data shows doctors are diagnosing more children with autism, but the trend is not all bad news. We'll explain why after the break.